Anna Luther, and I'm the Curriculum Director at Kids Included Together. And I wanted to take a few minutes to tell you about one of my favorite resources that's available to you for free in Kids Online Learning Center. It's called the Contributing Factors Assessment. And I don't want you to get nervous about the word assessment in the title. Really what this is an observation guide. So it is the perfect tool if you are in a role where you support staff to implement accommodations in their classrooms or programs, or if you are trying to help staff figure out why is an accommodation not working in the way that you expected it to. The Contributing Factors Assessment gives you some concrete things to look for in the classroom or program space when you're doing your observation. What you'll do is look for whether or not those things are happening, and if you don't see it, you'll put a check in the box. The three sections of the Contributing Factors Assessment are environmental factors, child-specific factors, and staff-specific factors. In the environment, you're going to be looking for things like, is the noise level too much in the room right now, and is that having an impact on the child's success? Is there a consistent routine? Are transitions well structured? In the child-specific section, you're going to be looking at things like, are the child's strengths being used in that classroom? Or is the child understanding how to use that accommodation or tool that you're trying to implement? In the staff-specific section, you're going to be looking for things like, did the staff provide guidance to the child on how to use that accommodation or tool that you're implementing? At the end of each one of those sections, the environment, child-specific, and staff-specific sections, you'll have an opportunity to summarize what it is that you saw. Sometimes you'll see several things that you think might be contributing to the success or maybe not so much success of the implementation of that accommodation. What you'll want to do is try to prioritize. What do I really think is having the biggest impact on whether or not this accommodation or strategy is working? That's going to give you your starting point so you know where to go next. It's going to help you have that focus. So you can say, oh yes, now I know what my next plan of action is going to be to support the child, to maybe make some adjustments to the environment, or think of new ways to support the staff so that they really have a good understanding of how to use that accommodation. So let's talk through a couple of examples. Let's say, for instance, that in a preschool classroom, you're hearing that there are many children who are running around the room in that transition from lunch to nap time. So you decide to take your Contributing Factors Assessment in during that time of day and do some observation. Along the way, maybe you discover that right in the middle of that transition is when the primary caregiver is going on their lunch break. And so a floater is coming into the room. Maybe that floater doesn't know as much about how the routine goes, and maybe the children aren't quite as familiar with that person. So now you know that there's some environmental factors that are contributing to that transition maybe not going as smoothly as you would like. This is where you can take that focus and say, okay, now I know what to do. I can think through, is there a way to change the schedule so that primary caregiver isn't going to be gone during that really difficult time of day? Or maybe if we can't change that schedule, we're going to make sure that we do some training with that floater to ensure that they know exactly what the routine is and give them some time to get to know the children so the children know how to follow their expectations. Another example might be a summer school-age program where the group goes on a different field trip every single day. Well, maybe in that first week, it didn't go so well for a child that had an identified disability. So you decide next week you're going to try and make a visual schedule of events so that child knows exactly what's going to happen at each one of those different locations. As a team, you make a plan for the counselors to review that with that youth and also send a copy of those visuals home to that youth's family. So you're going to go in and do some observation to see how are the counselors reviewing that visual support with the youth. When you go to do your observation, you find that the counselors are doing it kind of spotty. And you're thinking, okay, maybe there's some staff specific things going on here where maybe they don't understand exactly how to introduce this to that youth, or maybe they don't exactly understand the purpose of it either. So that lets you know that your focus is going to be on doing some additional staff training and learning from the staff what they need in order to feel more supported so that they're confident and competent in being able to implement this strategy with that youth. So remember, the contributing factors assessment is really just an observation tool. It's something that you can use to help you understand why an accommodation may not be working in the way that you expected it to. Once you figure out what's going on, it means that instead of thinking, oh, I just have to get rid of this strategy or accommodation altogether, I can think of a way to move forward. I can come up with a plan and think about what are all of those contributing factors? What are the things that are leading to this strategy not working in the way that I thought it would? That allows you to be able to make some adjustments along the way and find different ways to support staff as well as supporting children.